And Nick, Germany has now finally officially announced it'll give these tanks to Ukraine. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz will be speaking to Parliament later today, where he'll be facing questions from lawmakers there. What can we expect from that?
Well, an explanation of the decision, because it was a controversial decision in Germany, which has a long pacifist streak stretching back to the Second World War. He will explain, I think, why Germany needs to do this. And it's worth pointing out that had Germany not decided to send tanks, and more importantly, not decided to approve the re-export of Polish tanks and tanks from 13 other countries that use Leopard tanks, it would have looked incredibly isolated and not at all a steadfast ally. But the challenges he faced, I think, really in Parliament are convincing his own party, the Social Democratic Party, which has this long tradition of Ostpolitik, Eastern politic. Let's be nice to Russia, trade with them, and we'll make them into a democracy, or at least a sort of stable governing system. And of course, that didn't work out at all. So he has to, I think, talk to the party faithful. I expect they'll rally behind him. His two junior coalition partners are for this, so he doesn't need to persuade any people there. And then what kind of questions he faces, I think he'll probably face not so much questions, but actually attacks from the opposition about why did this take so long?
Well, that really is the question, Nick. Why did it take so long to get to this point?
Well, you know, as I was saying, the long pacifist streak in German foreign policy, Olaf Scholz, to use his words, said there was a risk of escalation, a possible risk of nuclear war, a possible risk of NATO finding itself at war with Russia. And of course, Germany is a member of NATO. And I think, the decision-making process was made really difficult because of that. And he needed to find allies to join him in this, and above all, the big American brother to send tanks as well, even if they weren't at all necessarily needed. There were rumors last week that he had talked with President Biden, asking him to send Abrams so that they could send tanks sort of together, even though those Abrams tanks aren't particularly suited to the Ukrainian battlefield. There's a lot of maintenance and gasoline issues. But he finally got the Americans to sign up to it. And I think now, that's fundamentally the challenge. Public opinion, which is only slightly in favor of Leopard tanks. So he's going to make an appeal before Parliament, show that this is a democratic decision. He's not going to announce it from his office in some sort of, isolated way. He's going to be shown to be going through the democratic processes, and then he's going to go on national TV tonight to make a direct explanation to the German people.
Nick, thanks for that, and thanks for your continuing coverage there for us from Berlin. That's our Nick Spicer.